Chosen ones. God let your mum be toxic for your spiritual awakening rise, higher spiritual wisdom. Sometimes the only way to reach the mountaintop is to rise above the valley. Welcome back to Spiritual Wisdom. Today we're diving deep into a journey that many of us know too well. The journey of rising above adversity, even when that adversity comes from those closest to us. If you've ever wondered why your relationship with your mother felt heavy or challenging, you're not alone. The truth is, sometimes God places these hurdles not to break us, but to build us up, to sharpen us for a greater purpose. Have you ever felt that pull towards something higher, something that makes the struggles worth it? Comment below and share your experience. Let's support each other on this journey to rise higher. Remember, every trial is part of your divine preparation. So let's begin this powerful exploration into why you were chosen to overcome. Sometimes, the path to greatness is lonely, even painful, but chosen. This separation, this distance you feel from others, especially from those closest to you, like your mother, is not a punishment, but a divine preparation. It's part of a larger spiritual journey, guiding you toward discovering your unique purpose and unlocking your highest potential. Throughout life, many of us encounter challenging relationships, and for some, that challenge starts at home. It's a heavy truth to carry when the one who should nurture, support, and uplift you, a mother, becomes the one who may sow doubt, criticism, or even create a toxic environment. But in moments like these, there's a crucial message hidden in the trials. God sometimes allows this very separation because He knows that for you to reach your calling, to fulfill your purpose, you must rise above the limitations set before you. When we're meant for greatness, the journey often begins with isolation, with a severing of familiar ties. This separation isn't meant to break you. It's meant to mold you, shaping the resilience, strength, and independence that only comes from standing on your own. Spirituality isn't only about comfort, it's about growth and transformation. Imagine a seed buried deep within the soil. It's in that darkness, away from light and warmth, that it starts its journey. Slowly but surely, the seed pushes its way through the soil, stretching toward the sun, drawn by a purpose it may not understand, but feels with every fiber of its being. This, dear one, is much like your journey. God has placed you in situations where you felt unseen, unheard, perhaps misunderstood, because through these experiences, He is calling you to step into your true self. Your hardships are not a denial of love, but a divine redirection, urging you to tap into an inner strength that could only be forged in the fires of adversity. Each hardship you've faced has laid down the groundwork for an unshakable foundation of character, a depth of spirit, and a wisdom that can only come from experience. Think of those moments where you had to stand tall, hold on to your values, and persevere, even when it felt like the world or even your own family stood against you. God has seen each tear, heard each prayer, and through each trial, He has been guiding you toward your higher calling. This journey of separation has one purpose: to ensure you become who you were always meant to be, free from limitations, toxic patterns, and negative cycles. Sometimes, in order to become a healer, a leader, a beacon for others, we first have to walk the path of suffering to know what it feels like, to feel the depth of human struggle. Let this be a reminder that God has designed every step of your path with intention. Your purpose is unique. It's written in your heart. Embrace your spiritual journey, trust in the process, and know that the obstacles you faced were never meant to define you, but to refine you. When you rise above these hardships, you become an unstoppable force, equipped not only to fulfill your destiny, but to inspire others along the way. And so, hold your head high, keep your spirit strong, and remember, even in moments of loneliness, God's hand has never left you. You are a chosen one, and this separation, this journey, is your sacred preparation. Are you ready to step into your higher calling and embrace this journey of divine preparation? If so, comment below, "I am chosen," to affirm your commitment to rise above limitations and unlock your true potential. Remember, each trial you face is a step closer to becoming who you were meant to be. God is with you every step of the way. Chosen ones, sometimes the path God places us on is one that feels unbearably lonely, especially when it comes to relationships with those who are supposed to love us the most. It may be hard to understand why God allows certain people, even our own mothers or family members, to be hurtful, unkind, or toxic. But know this: God never abandons you. Instead, He sets you apart for a purpose. When He allows us to go through painful experiences, it is often to refine us, to strengthen our spirit, and to guide us toward a higher calling. This process of isolation and separation isn't punishment, nor is it God turning His back on you. It's a carefully woven part of His divine plan for your spiritual awakening. In this journey, you might feel misunderstood, as if you're navigating the depths alone. Friends or family who don't understand might criticize, label, or try to discourage you. But remember, you're being led to a place where your purpose and gifts will shine the brightest. God's purpose is rarely visible in the middle of hardship. It often becomes clear only after we've risen through the storms. Each trial molds you, revealing layers of strength, resilience, and faith you never knew you had. Toxic people in your life, yes, even those closest to you, are often the very catalysts God uses to push you into deeper reflection, prayer, and transformation. If your spirit is bruised or your heart is weary, it's because you're being reshaped, renewed, and prepared for a new level of spiritual clarity and purpose. Embrace this season of isolation, because this is where God speaks the loudest. When we're separated from others' voices, opinions, and even negativity, we're able to hear God's voice with clarity. You were chosen not only to endure these challenges, but to rise above them and find peace beyond the pain. He is preparing you to be a beacon for others, a source of hope, strength, and understanding for those who will face similar paths. There's a reason you're going through what you're going through. It's part of your divine assignment. Separation is necessary for elevation, and sometimes that means distancing from even the closest people to us, including family members. Don't see it as rejection. See it as redirection, a powerful way that God is leading you closer to Him and further into your calling. Hold on to your faith. Trust that your path, no matter how tough, is part of a greater journey. These experiences are not only about overcoming personal pain, they're preparing you to fulfill a higher mission. Keep going with the assurance that every wound will be turned into wisdom, every tear into a testimony, and every challenge into a chance for spiritual awakening. God is not abandoning you. He's shaping you, empowering you, and setting you apart so you can rise higher, brighter, and closer to His purpose for you. If you feel that God is speaking to you through this message, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. You're not alone in this journey of separation and transformation. Together, we'll explore how God uses these challenges to mold us, strengthen us, and guide us to a higher purpose. Join our community, and let's walk this path of faith, resilience, and spiritual awakening hand in hand. Have you ever wondered why God sometimes allows us to face challenges with our families, even from a young age? Why would He permit situations that bring so much heartache and confusion, especially with those closest to us? Sometimes, God allows these experiences to teach us something crucial to build resilience and to bring us closer to Him. The pain and difficulty are not without purpose. It's in these moments of isolation that God often reveals Himself most profoundly. encouraging us to find strength and clarity through Him alone. Imagine how gold is purified. It must pass through intense heat, removing impurities to become something beautiful and valuable. In the same way, God uses our hardships to refine us, often creating space for us to grow, even when we feel misunderstood or rejected. He doesn't want us to depend solely on human approval or comfort, but instead to rely on His unwavering love. "I will never leave you, nor forsake you," Deuteronomy 31:6, is His promise, a reminder that even if others fail us, God never will. If we were surrounded only by constant support, we might never learn to stand strong in faith. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. These words are an invitation from God to lean on Him fully. When we're isolated, away from others' expectations and opinions, we often discover that God's presence and guidance are all we need. Our trials shape us in ways we don't immediately see, molding us into resilient people who can later lift others. Our experiences, hardships, and victories become a testimony, offering hope to those who are lost or misunderstood. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. Every challenge we face strengthens our character, allowing us to live out the compassion, strength, and love that God has shown us. Instead of dwelling on the pain of difficult relationships, consider what God may be revealing to you through them. What strengths and insights have you gained? Each struggle becomes a step on a path that's drawing you closer to God, helping you rise above and depend on Him alone. Solitude isn't punishment. It's often a divine opportunity for growth and transformation, bringing us closer to the person God has always intended us to be. If you've ever wondered why God allows difficult relationships or hardships within our families, reflect on this. Do you believe these challenges are part of God's way of refining us, like gold purified through fire? Comment yes if you feel He's teaching you through these trials, no if you're unsure, or sometimes if you're still seeking His purpose. Let's share how God has used our struggles to bring us closer to Him. God, in His infinite wisdom, often allows us to experience challenges that feel insurmountable, yet these very trials are tools of refinement, shaping us into vessels for His purpose. Growing up in a difficult environment, perhaps with a toxic relationship or an unkind family member, is not a sign of God's absence. Rather, it's part of a divine design meant to elevate us to new spiritual heights. These experiences test and strengthen our character, forging a resilience that is rooted in faith. God uses the pressures of life, much like a sculptor chiseling away stone, to reveal the depths of our potential. Spirituality isn't only about tranquility, it's about the ability to grow, endure, and shine through life's adversities. Pain is often the mirror that reveals areas of ourselves we might not have recognized otherwise, our vulnerabilities, our unresolved issues, or even our hidden strengths. Through these challenges, God is not punishing us but preparing us, ensuring that we become unbreakable. Toxic or difficult relationships become opportunities for us to learn patience, forgiveness, and, most importantly, inner strength. Each setback, each painful moment, becomes a stepping stone toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and God's plan for us. Life is not designed to be easy, but rather to shape us into beings who can embody love, patience, and wisdom. As we overcome our struggles, we inspire others, becoming examples of how faith can bring us through any hardship. In our modern world, where distractions are everywhere and resilience is often tested, the path of spiritual growth calls us to a higher purpose. We are reminded that adversity is not a detour, but a part of our journey toward becoming the individuals God intended us to be. Challenges call us to rise above our circumstances, to develop a faith that is unshakable and real. When we understand that our pain is purposeful, we can find strength, peace, and a greater clarity of purpose. Through each experience, God is forming us, shaping us into vessels of His grace and light, preparing us to carry His message and to uplift others who may face similar trials. Remember that you are being prepared for something greater than you can see. Embrace each trial as part of the spiritual journey, a divine calling to be refined by life's fires. Rise not just for yourself, but for others who will see in you a reflection of hope and resilience. Through every trial, you are not alone. You are being shaped and set apart for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Are you facing challenges that feel overwhelming? Embrace every hardship as part of your journey, knowing that resilience and faith are forged through life's fires. Subscribe to this channel for more inspiration and insight into how God's wisdom can guide us through every challenge, helping us rise, grow, and become vessels of His grace. Let's walk this path of spiritual growth together. You're not alone. For some, the journey of life begins with wounds from those who were meant to be our first protectors. And when it's a mother's love that feels absent or toxic, the hurt can be deep. But understand this: there is divine purpose in this pain. God allowed your mother to be exactly who she is, not to harm you, but to prepare you, to build a unique resilience within you that could only come through such a challenge. Instead of an easy love, you were given a difficult path, and this has been shaping your spirit, helping you see that true strength and peace come from a source beyond human love. You're learning to embrace the reality that earthly relationships, even the ones that are supposed to be nurturing, sometimes fall short. Yet through this void, God has been creating space in your heart for His love, a love that knows no limits. This isn't about bitterness or blame, but about finding the lesson God planted in this experience. Every time you felt overlooked, misunderstood, or unappreciated, know that it wasn't in vain. God was showing you how to rise above the temporary and to seek something eternal. This journey is teaching you the power of divine love, a love that never leaves, never harms, and always heals. It's helping you see that your worth isn't defined by the love you didn't receive, but by the boundless love that is always available to you. Through the trials with your mother, God has been guiding you to a place where forgiveness, inner peace, and purpose can flourish. Let go of resentment. Instead, hold on to the understanding that you were chosen to transcend this pain, to grow beyond it, and to find strength in God's unwavering love. As you rise higher, remember that every hardship has prepared you for something greater. Embrace the journey, knowing that your life is set apart for a unique purpose. You are not defined by the wounds of the past, but by the grace and love that fill your future. Step forward in that love, and let it guide you toward a life of true peace and strength, knowing that even in the absence of earthly comfort, you are held by a divine, eternal love. Chosen ones, you may wonder why God allowed such a significant challenge in your life, especially when it comes from someone as close as your own mother. The relationship with a parent is meant to be one of love, support, and guidance. Yet for some of us, it can feel like the very source of our deepest pain. This hardship wasn't meant to break you, but to shape you, to awaken a purpose greater than you might imagine. Perhaps God allowed this because He saw your strength, knowing that through your resilience, you could rise above and become an example for others. As the author Viktor Frankl wisely said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." This path you're on is not a random set of events. It's a calling designed for your growth, your awakening, and ultimately, your purpose. The spiritual journey often begins with struggle. Life's most profound lessons rarely come from ease, but rather from the trials that push us beyond our limits. Every moment of feeling unheard, unappreciated, or hurt has contributed to a depth of understanding and compassion that only those who've endured can possess. Ask yourself, what if this experience was meant to teach you resilience and empathy, equipping you to help others in ways only you can? The more we open ourselves to this perspective, the clearer it becomes that even pain has its purpose. As spiritual beings, we often discover our purpose not through what is given, but through what is overcome. This journey requires more than just moving on. It calls for transformation, growth, and ultimately, forgiveness. Forgiving those who have caused us pain, especially within family, is never easy. It's not about excusing the actions, but about setting yourself free from the hold of resentment. As they say, forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it does enlarge the future. By releasing the grip of hurt, you're creating space for healing, growth, and peace. Boundaries become vital too. Part of the lesson here is learning to value your own well-being, to protect your heart and soul, so you can continue on your journey with clarity and strength. This is what it means to embrace spirituality, to find the strength within, to forgive, and to transcend. The experiences that have shaped you, the struggles you've overcome, these are not in vain. They are preparing you to fulfill a purpose that goes beyond your individual journey. Perhaps you're meant to be a light for others walking a similar path. Those who have been through the depths often return with insights and empathy that uplift others. Imagine a world where we all understand our pain as part of a divine design, where our hardships are stepping stones to personal and spiritual transformation. This is the essence of the chosen one's journey: to rise higher, to heal, and to inspire. Would you embrace the calling to be a beacon for others, to show that it's possible to overcome and find peace? The world needs people who have walked through darkness and come back stronger. People who can say, "I made it through, and so can you." You are not just enduring, you are evolving, learning, and growing into the person you were always meant to be. Remember, this path was not chosen by chance. You are here with a purpose, chosen to bring light to others. Embrace it, and let your journey shine. God may allow toxic people, even close family members, to enter our lives, not to harm us, but to prepare us for a higher calling. It's as if these challenging relationships are a spiritual training ground, forging our strength and resilience. Painful as it may be, each encounter builds our capacity to endure, learn, and grow. Think of it as spiritual armor, where every hurtful word or unkind action becomes another layer that fortifies us, enabling us to rise above earthly troubles and to fulfill a greater purpose. For those who feel a unique calling, who know deep within that they are among the chosen ones, these hardships are not random. They are divinely orchestrated moments, allowing us to grow in faith, patience, and strength. It's as though God is training us to see our own resilience, to find strength in our spirituality, and to stand firm even when the world feels like a battlefield. Imagine a soldier who endures countless hours of preparation, not for the sake of the hardship itself, but to become ready, to build an inner strength that nothing can shake. In the same way, we are prepared to face the trials that lie ahead, rooted in a foundation that cannot be moved by mere challenges. Today we encounter countless relationships, expectations, and responsibilities that can sometimes feel overwhelming. By approaching these relationships with a spiritual perspective, we can see them not as sources of frustration, but as opportunities to cultivate forgiveness, patience, and inner peace. Life may feel like a battlefield at times, but each struggle we face builds us up. Toxicity, rejection, disappointment. These aren't signs of our weakness. They're proof of our growth and resilience. God's vision for us extends beyond our immediate understanding, and He allows us to encounter these hardships to rise above them, to refine our character, and to live out our purpose. When life feels challenging, remember, you're being prepared. You're not just going through these moments, you're growing through them. Each encounter, whether uplifting or painful, serves a divine purpose, pushing you toward a higher level of spiritual maturity and understanding. This journey is a path toward a life filled with wisdom and grace, shaped by the trials that we overcome. So hold on to that faith, knowing that every struggle is part of a grander plan designed to make you stronger, to prepare you to shine, and to embrace a purpose larger than you could have ever imagined. God sometimes places us in difficult family situations to build a resilience that's crucial for fulfilling our unique purpose. Growing up with a challenging relationship, even with someone as close as a mother, can feel deeply painful and confusing. But God allowed this not to harm you, but to prepare you. This journey, as a chosen one, is about spiritual awakening and discovering an inner strength that could only be developed through trials. You were not meant to live an ordinary life. You were destined to rise above, to transcend, and to reach a level of understanding and compassion that few can achieve. Each moment of pain has contributed to a strength beyond the ordinary, a strength designed for the unique demands of God's plan for you. Facing this relationship wasn't just a matter of enduring hardship. It was about building the resilience that would enable you to shine in your calling. The challenges have created a depth of empathy and wisdom in you, a force that can support others who have also struggled. God knew that you would need this strength, so He allowed you to be tested, refined, and prepared for a life of purpose. Your spirit has been forged in the fires of hardship, shaped by each trial to fulfill a destiny that requires strength, patience, and love. There's power in knowing that the battles you faced weren't in vain. They were a vital part of your spiritual awakening. Each hardship has broken open hidden reservoirs of courage and faith within you. This strength isn't just for survival. It's the foundation of a life meant to inspire and uplift others. You are called to be a light in dark places, to bring hope to those who feel lost. Every moment that tested you also prepared you to bring God's wisdom to others, to be a beacon of resilience. You are not alone in this journey. God is with you, and He has been all along, guiding you, lifting you, and preparing you for something far beyond the ordinary. Take pride in your strength, for it is a gift that has come from enduring what many cannot understand. Embrace the purpose that God has placed on your life, and know that every challenge was His way of setting you apart, shaping you for a path that is uniquely yours. If you've come this far, you're on a journey of faith and resilience. Comment: strength through faith. If you believe your trials have prepared you for something greater, for those chosen with a higher spiritual purpose, these trials are not coincidences, but purposeful steps meant to help us rise above earthly limitations and discover our true divine calling. If you had been given an ideal, conflict-free family life, would you have the same drive to seek truth, inner strength, and a deeper understanding of spirituality? Difficult relationships, especially with someone as close as a mother, can push us beyond the need for validation, guiding us toward a connection with God that redefines our identity beyond societal or familial expectations. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience, as Teilhard de Chardin once said, but spiritual beings having a human experience. Seeing life this way allows us to view even painful relationships as part of God's training ground, preparing us for a purpose greater than we might imagine. Ask yourself, do you truly recognize your worth as God sees it? Or are you still weighed down by expectations from toxic family dynamics? Being chosen means your value isn't tied to external validation, but rooted in the calling God has placed in your heart. Toxicity, even from loved ones, teaches us to focus less on human approval and more on the only validation that matters, God's. Psalm 139 verse 14 reminds us, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." Let this truth sink in, shifting your focus from past hurts to the healing that only God can provide. Our divine purpose is far bigger than earthly relationships, or approval from any person. Reflect on the patterns you've encountered. Are they revealing lessons God wants you to learn? Each trial, each painful encounter is an opportunity to strengthen your faith, hone your spiritual identity, and fulfill the unique mission God has designed for you. Toxic relationships often reveal valuable lessons about self-love, boundaries, and spiritual independence. Learning these lessons liberates us from needing validation from others and draws us closer to the only one who truly knows our worth. Romans 8, verse 28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." This includes even the difficulties of a challenging family dynamic, all of which can be transformed into something beautiful in God's plan. Are you ready to redefine yourself beyond roles you were born into or others' expectations? If you're ready to, comment "I am chosen" below. This journey is about aligning with your divine purpose and shedding false identities that keep you bound. You are more than someone's child or friend. You are a chosen one, marked by God for a purpose that may be hidden to others but is deeply known within your spirit. Trust that every part of this journey is intentional, and that even the hardest relationships have meaning in God's larger plan for your life. Embrace this calling and let it guide you toward becoming who you were meant to be. Strong, compassionate, wise, and firmly rooted in divine truth. As we reach the end of this powerful message, remember, chosen ones, that the trials and challenges in our closest relationships, especially with family, have a purpose beyond what we can often see. God allows these experiences not to harm us, but to help us rise above, to build resilience, faith, and a deeper connection to his purpose. Each hardship has strengthened you, shaping you into someone ready to fulfill a unique calling. Embrace this journey with gratitude, knowing that every step, even the difficult ones, is part of God's plan to elevate you. Let's take a moment to reflect. How have these experiences shaped your path? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's support each other as we continue to grow. If you believe in this message and feel moved by it, consider subscribing and joining our spiritual wisdom community for more guidance on this path. Remember, you are not alone, and every trial you face is preparing you to rise higher. Keep the faith and let God's purpose unfold in your life.